We Act Radio, and as you can hear,
I know what you're saying.
we got them mixing it
we
up.
had bazookas, everything, but what I'm telling you, no, we had all that. But I'm telling you, this stuff these youngins got, it wasn't a lot of dudes walking around with 100-round drums and all that. 50. Yeah, they got 100-round drums. They got 100-round drums.
Yeah. But you gotta remember, it was at a time where they wasn't giving that to the consumer. It's a different time.
They giving these youngins anything and they broke. Hey, listen. I mean, we ain't got all day to talk to you, man. When you think what you doing?
My mother's people got them talking in the studio. We Act Radio in Anacostia and Southeast. They talking about it on the streets on Good Hope Road. Will you see us at the
23 minutes if you want to be exact.
Let us know. Get ready to go live. WeActRadio.com. Check it out. Rhonda Hamilton and my mother's keeper, advocating for mental health and the gun violence prevention. This live stuff. Ooh, this live radio stuff. Hey, Facebook. Thanks for tuning in. I see you, Arnetta. February the 25th, Sunday, gun violence. Be there. Sign the petition, www.mymotherskeeper.com. We serious out here in these streets. WeActRadio.com.
Yes, indeed. You best believe this is DC's only independent radio station, We Act Radio, broadcasting live on the radical side of Marley Key Avenue, the underbelly nation's capital here, the foothills of Cedar Hill, the line of Anacostia, Freddie Douglass home, bicentennial, the first black resident of Anacostia, y'all. And you know who that is. That's the baddest bad boys of Go-Go backyard. We're going backyard to Ghana, 26th of this month. Heading out, taking our culture with us, so we're going to bring y'all something back. And here, we're in the studio, putting a spotlight on the community, Business, Art, and Beauty Expo 2018, calling all divas, February 25th. That is Sunday at Mississippi Avenue, 1901, the Art Theater. That is My Mother's Keeper.
Absolutely.
We're putting it down. Rhonda Hamilton's in the studio, connecting all aspects of behavioral health because you matter. Welcome to We Act Radio, Sister Rhonda.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, brother.
All right, this interview's been a long time coming, and we're going to get in here. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate you being a part of the community, an active member of the community with your do somethingness. We want to acknowledge you full-heartedly. Now, let's take it from the top. Who is M.I. Mother's Keeper?
Thank you so much. And Kimon, I first want to thank We Act Radio for being so persistent in getting us in the studio and giving us this time. So I really want to say that before we go any further. We really appreciate you all, your voice in the community. M.I. Mother's Keeper. Why M.I.? That's where we start the conversation. No one ever wants to talk about mental health unless they're familiar with it. So M.I. for us stands for mental intelligence. For many folks, they recognize the M and the I in the community to stand for mental illness. We are all about empowerment, and we know that our citizens in the mental health community are intelligent. They're not ill, they're intelligent, because it takes a smart individual to know that they've got to take their medicine, they've got to let somebody know that they need some help in order that they can live their best life. So we like to start right out the gate with the empowerment. M.I. Mother's Keeper. That's how we start the conversation.
Yeah, because sometimes when we say MI, we shorten things for, like missing in action, and so I'm glad you're putting some paint where it ain't right there. Now, why is it important to raise mental health awareness? I mean, that is obviously a rhetorical question, but for the sake of stating the obvious, why is it mental health addressing?
I agree with you, and that's a great question. I love that question, and it's very important because what In My Mother's Keeper believes, is that at the core of everything that we hope to be successful at as a society, we've got to make sure that our mental health is stable. We got to make sure that our citizens are able to manage in their daily lives. A lot of us are living and managing high levels of stress, and in the instance of the gun violence that we're dealing with, These are traumatic instances, and many folks, if you do the research, you're going to find that exposure to traumatic events and situations such as what we're dealing with in the community are gateway and doorways that can allow us to matriculate from mental health into mental illness. So we're out here advocating, and why it's important is because we've got to raise the discussion and raise the dialogue, because many of our citizens are in crisis, and many of our citizens do need our help, and some of them are not necessarily diagnosed. Some of them are just carrying things that they don't have the proper understanding of how to deal with. So mental health is very important, and it's at the core of everything that we hope to be successful at as a society, in our opinion.
We're joined in the studio with Ms. Rhonda Hamilton, Executive Director of MI Mother's Keeper, here to put a spotlight on the community for the Business, Art, and Beauty Expo 2018, Sunday, February 25th, calling all divas for the Art Theater, 1901 Mississippi Avenue Southeast. You can get more information at mimotherskeeper.com. That's mimotherskeeper.com, and 1-844-36-HELP-2 for all those who are offline. Now, we are so thrilled to have people such as yourself who don't have all the resources, don't have all the funding, don't have all the staff, don't have all the support, but yet you recognize the resources that you do have and you bring them to bear on an issue that you feel passionately about. And therefore, you are doing the work not because someone hired you, not because somebody came for you, but you saw a need and you're putting some paint where it ain't. You're doing something. And everybody can do something. The greatest power is convincing people that they don't have any. And that is Sister Alice Walker. We love books. All right. Now, having said that, what is your motivation for starting In My Mother's Keeper?
I love that question. Thanks, Kimon, and you put it so greatly. In My Mother's Keeper's motivation, my mom, Regina Fleming, we are we are residents of Washington, D.C. We're born and raised, and my mom navigated the mental health system. She was diagnosed with schizophrenia when I was 10 years old. So I am that little girl who grew up in Ward 8, going to visit my mom at St. Elizabeth, sitting at the McDonald's across the street from St. Elizabeth because she loved her Big Mac so much. And I remember what it felt like to have to go over and sit there and wait for her to come visit. But one of the biggest things that I'm so proud about is the fact that my mom, after navigating that system for 30 years through the community connections of the community, the anchor workshops, those of you who have family members in the community, you know what I'm talking about, the House of Roofs and all of that. She survived all of that, walking these streets and figuring it out. And an organization such as mine, a nonprofit, came along, helped her to get a skill, get back to work. After 30 years in that system, she went back to work for Commerce on a contract. And until she had her stroke 4 years ago, I was out working in the community. I ran a real estate company. I do insurance. I live in my best life. And she had to go down and get some medical assistance down at social services in the city here. And she had a stroke. And the young lady sitting at the desk obviously hadn't had a mom or a female family member or anybody that had gone through something of this nature, because she didn't have any compassion. And I really had a hard time with the fact that my mom had navigated 50 years in this system, only to be standing there and to have to sell her dignity for services. I wasn't okay with that. So I put my professional hat down and I came out to speak about it. I am a child of this city. I am a great, great descendant of the great Marion Barry first summer youth employment program. My mom and many like her should not be walking this city begging for any type of help. She's earned the right to receive it. So we're out here advocating and giving voice so that we can make sure that we get the education and the awareness out. Because, come on, you know, the Ward 8 in me probably wanted to handle that differently. But I'm so happy to be able to present to you In My Mother's Keeper as a result of that situation.
Absolutely, and thank you again for stepping to the plate. Again, we're here to put a spotlight on the community. BABE 2018. BABE is the acronym for Business, Art, and Beauty Expo, Sunday, February 25th. That's 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. Gun Violence Town Hall meeting, very timely. Red carpet diva photo shoot, massages by Healing Hands, mental health empowerment workshops, cancer screenings. The Opium Band Live is performing. We have a mortgage and real estate seminar commemorating Black history in the community. Make sure we get to stay in this community. In My Mother's Keeper supports the ingenuity and vibrant nature of our citizens and businesses in the community in an effort to raise mental health awareness and to shine the spotlight on the need for gun violence acts of prevention and intervention. We're bringing the voices of the community together, the Expo to offer resources and seek common solutions to the violence that continues to haunt us as a community and a nation. And it cannot be more timely than that. Now, here at WEAC Radio, we've been launching a drive to renovate our basement to create what would have been the first bookstore in all of Easter River in the first 25 years. Fortunately, Mahogany Books has just opened their doors. We missed their grand opening last weekend. I hope they forgive us because we was here hosting a memorial of our own inside the studio. But there is empirical data that confirms the correlation between literacy and violence. What is your take on that, and how can people, embrace those issues simultaneously?
I love that question, Kimon. To be honest with you, in our community, I believe that anything that we can put in front of our folks that are a positive alternative to being able to pick the guns up and resorting to violence is going to be something great in nature. But more importantly, I obviously have been educated in a wonderful D.C. public school system. I got a wonderful education. And reading, I remember when RIF, reading is fundamental, when the RIF vans used to come around, and we would fall in love with books and stories and things like that. And I believe that in the community, a lot of where we need to get back to is the things that we did as before, where we made sure that the children were able to read. We made sure that people were engaged in the community. Every time I go out to do outreach, Kimon, it saddens me after I come from doing a wonderful event, and then my brothers are still gathered on the corner, and it always bothers me because I'm just wondering what else can we thrust in front of our people to help them to make different decisions. I come from a field of private industry and sales and real estate and insurance, and six-figure incomes are not unrealistic. There are so many choices, and I come out of Ward 8. So anything that we can do to thrust in front of our people to help them to be able to have different choices is definitely going to be a positive. And reading, oh my goodness, reading is fundamental. The mind is a terrible thing to waste, and I believe if we spend more time helping our citizens understand these things and to gravitate towards these types of processes, maybe they'll decide to put the guns down.
There you have it. In my Mother's Keepers, calling on all members of the community who have either lost a loved one to gun violence or know someone who has. We're calling on all mothers in the community who are helping to nurture and to hold the community together, and calling on all business owners who stand in support of the community and know the importance of helping to prevent and speaking it up against crime as a whole in the neighborhoods and communities that we're all invested in. And we're here to support you and lift you up and celebrate that. Now, how can people get involved beyond this important date that you have in February 26th from 1 to 7 p.m. at the DR Theater? How can the community get more involved in matters of mental health?
I appreciate that question, Kimon, and I just want to be clear. It's February the 25th, Sunday, down at the Arch.
I'm fleeing the country on the 26th. So
I know.
I'm excited about the 26th.
I know.
I'm going to Africa.
I know, right? We can't compete with that, but you can come down on the 25th and party.
25th, y'all. February 25th, Sunday, February 25th.
That's right.
7 p.m. at the Arc Theater with free parking.
That's right. And actually, I believe that, check the Eventbrite, because I have a wonderful cohort, Mrs. Rogers over at My BMF Solutions, which I hope she's tuned in. She's in the background doing all the wonderful work. You ask how can folks get involved. I would say to you that in My Mother's Keeper, we are always looking to have our wonderful volunteers come on board and join us. We can't do this work alone. I'm Rhonda. I'm the executive director. I do this firsthand, and I make sure folks know who I am so that they know that we welcome them. Mental health is a very large topic to be able to have to tackle, and because it's a personal, it's just my family's story, I don't have a problem with rolling my sleeves up and getting the work done. So if there are folks out there in the community who have lost loved ones, who are challenged with loved ones, who are going through themselves, we've got two different phone numbers I want to give you. The activist line, which Kimon was so great to give you before, which is the 1-844-36-HELP, HELP 2. Call us if you know someone that's in crisis that needs immediate assistance, just needs a voice, a kind, educated voice about mental health. Send them our way. We'll definitely get involved. We'll come out and we'll advocate. 240-274-9436 is my direct phone number. And those of you that know me out in the community, you know I'm out here, sleeves rolled up, and I'm going to pick that phone up. So if you want to get to work and do some work and not looking for the glamorous fame of it all, come on, call me. Let's get to work. We got a lot of citizens out here that need you. In the meantime, come on, what I wanted to speak of on the event, we are still registering folks for the vendor tables. We're still registering folks for the barber competition. We have a lot of hair salons that we're out trying to still reach. We've got posters that we're putting out in the community. We're trying to get this word wide and far, because this is a day that is meant to be able to celebrate the community. We're talking about some heavy topics here, mental health and gun violence. However, we can all come together and still have fun and still celebrate one another and take care of business, and that's what the 25th is meant to do.
Well, I hope we can get some sort of distribution network set up so that every hair salon and barbershop, because those are the only black-owned businesses that are still, left in the city that black people will patronize wholeheartedly. Like, no one will let anyone other than someone of their own culture do their hair. They might let them do their nails, do their feet. They'll go eat at somebody's place, but they ain't gonna let a black woman ain't gonna let nobody but another black woman touch her head, and that brother ain't gonna let nobody but another brother touch his head. So those are only real really true black-owned businesses left, and we need to have like a network so that we want to reach the community, put it out through all the hair salons and the barbershops, so we can just organize that, and then we can really amplify events such as this and the work that you're doing. We just really need to, I'm giving that, add on to your workload. If we try to organize those cats, you know what I'm saying? So to get them all on one listserv or something, that would be powerful.
Hey, come on, I love where your head's at. Actually, we've got an interview we just posted. Davis Barbershop is one of our honorees that's happening. We got so much going on at the expo. Please check out the website first and foremost, folks. It's www.beautyexpo2018.com. I don't want to do it any injustice. There's so much going on. But I wanted to touch on something. We're actually honoring a few of our pioneers because of the fact, one of the things my grandmother always said to me, give me my roses while I'm still here. So we're honoring Dudley, a wonderful guru in the hair care industry. And I mentioned Davis Barbershop and some of the others, Millhouse Barbershop, who watched me go up the street to 6th Street, Southeast Chesapeake, to Henley Elementary School to make sure we got to school. They're still around and they're still doing it. And then we're looking at trying to bring them together. My cohort, my colleague, Miss Arnetta Rogers and I, we have over 25 years together. And she's actually trying to culminate and bring that together. She deals with the beauty management systems and insurance in the salons and helping them to be able to build out their retirement and things like that. So she's working with the salons and also trying to get the veterans of the industry to come together so that they can create some kind of a forum or union that will allow just what you're speaking on. So I love where your head is at. Come on.
And all of this and the live band performances by Opium Band, Sugar Bear, and EU. Shout out to Sugar Bear, big up. We owe him plenty. He donated several performances here at We Act Radio in support of Shawnee's Milton Community Bookstore. So this expo is going to be epic, and we need to get people to get their tickets to the gate. Mother's Keeper says that proper mental health matters. So again, all this with live performances by Opium Band, Sugar Bear, and EU. That's beautyexpo2018.com or mymotherskeeper.com. That's mimotherskeeper.com or beautyexpo2018.com. Or for more information for people offline, you can call 240-274-9436, 240-274-9436. And you need to hurry if you want to get tables, because vendor tables are almost gone and ad spaces are still available. And that again, February 25th, Sunday,
yeah.
1 to 7 p.m. Business, Art, and Beauty Expo. Now, we just got a few minutes left in the program with you. My personal question is for young people who they may not have been victim of violence, but they may have been a witness to violence and therefore may have suffered some trauma. How does that play out in terms of mental health? Because I don't think Jay-Z even said, and I wish I had the clip in front of me. He said that we need therapists in our schools. We need, we need to talk to these kids. You can't just expect them to be in these violent environments.
Absolutely.
And come out of it simply because they're unscarred, as if they don't have an impression. So
Absolutely.
Your thoughts on that?
Come on, thank you so much for this opportunity. That's one of our biggest concerns, and that's why My Mother's Keeper started this whole initiative in terms of the town hall discussions. We were so sickened and saddened by constantly seeing the yellow tape go up and down and seeing the headlines the day after, and no one was addressing the community in between these traumatic events. What we've been trying to do is to get access to the different communities, the actual apartment and residences, so that we can try to advocate to get some type of a facility assigned to us so that we can be a resident in the community, so to speak, so that our youth, our families have someone directly that they can come and identify with, because we're not able to reach all. We're reaching out to the religious community. I've got Pastor Robert Davis coming in from Denver, Colorado. They've got a safe haven program. He's a native of Southeast DC, and when I talked to him about what I've been concerned about, he wanted to come and lend his hand. They have an initiative when there's a shooting, the churches activate for 72 hours, and the city, obviously they're all involved to make sure that these families have safe haven, that they have someone to go to, that they're therapists that know that they have to act immediately, and that we have to put a game plan in place to follow these families and follow these individuals. The biggest challenge for us is that many folks that are suffering and dealing with these matters, especially our youth, they won't reach out because of the stigmas that are associated with the word mental challenge or getting help and things like that. We have an MI is Me initiative that we started, and it's basically saying that we're not our diagnosis. Don't identify us as just being mentally challenged. We are beautiful people, and we have many things that we can accomplish. accomplished. MI is me, mentally intelligent and proud as can be. Schizophrenia, PTSD, depression or anxiety, is that all you can see? Look closer, because MI is me. I'm a many thing, you know. I'm mentally intelligent. I'm all kinds of things. And so we are out here talking to our youth and making sure that we make our presence known, because we want them to reach out, because we are concerned of the lingering effects of the headlines and the red tape. Everyone's always getting political when we talk gun violence, but no one remembers that we have to bury a body as a result of these traumatic incidents. And that's why the mental health piece is so important. They don't want to talk about it, but we're not going anywhere because we know different. We've got to talk about this.
We got to talk about this. All right, so that means that we're not going to get anywhere until we face the problem.
That's right.
It's not going to go anywhere. You can't sweep it under the rug. We have to face it. Everything that we face cannot be changed, but nothing can be changed without facing it.
That's right.
And the one thing I know about mental health is that the stigma needs to be eradicated.
That's right.
If we have mental health, we have brain health.
That's right.
And because if someone bumped their head, that it's an organ, it's bruised, it's not working properly.
Absolutely.
When I was growing up, I was a friend of mine in Oxon Hill. He fell, and he was never quite right afterwards. He bumped his head. We used to say, "Oh, you bumped your head." Sometimes it actually happens.
Absolutely.
And there's no shame in that.
No.
Like someone is injured, let's look out for them. And then some people who just form a mental health. I just need a break.
Absolutely.
And I was a witness to a very violent act. I was a witness to my cousin's murder.
I'm sorry.
And and I had an out of body experience.
Mm-hmm.
I saw
Jesus.
I was like hovering over myself, and I could not stop what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And people had to calm me down. I never forgot that. I was having what people would call an episode, and that
That's
triggered
powerful.
it. And that's why I'm very slow to violence, because I think that every incident of violence has the potential of someone losing their life.
Absolutely.
And so my thing is this is not that serious.
Absolutely.
Whatever I'm facing is not that serious. And so I think that we just need to put this where it is. So with that, having said that, I want to thank you for coming in. I want to thank you again for all your do something-ness, and I'll leave the mic to you to close us out and take us home and give us another closing round of all the information on this wonderful event taking place February the 25th, Sunday, 1 to 7 p.m. at the Arc Theater, the Business, Art, and Beauty Expo.
Thank you so much, Kimon. And again, I have to really, really commend you. It is so powerful when folks such as yourself that are in the community, that are leaders, that are voices, that are aware and educated, they have no problem speaking out and sharing their event, sharing your experiences. That's what it's going to take. That's why I came out to the front lines, because I need them to know that you can't always recognize what a crisis looks like. You can't always recognize what mental health looks like. So we've got to have the conversations. We've got to get to know people. We've got to get people in the community to open up and know us. We've got to get back to understanding who we are in the community, because believe it or not, many families, many individuals are in crisis. Many of our children, many of our youth are having outer body experiences. Many of our youth we're losing before we're able to pull them back from the edge. Come on, I attended the seminar for DBH just a few months back, and one of the biggest things that I left with from that seminar was the fact that we've got to start doing more preventative measures. Just like we prevent, you mentioned other organs of the body, heart disease, diabetes, and things of that nature, we can start trying to be preventative about the mental health situations before they get to stage 4. And sometimes the out-of-body experiences don't go away for many. Sometimes the voices remain. Sometimes there are hallucinations. Sometimes they're just different situations for every individual. And that's why we've got to have the conversation so that it becomes more familiar, and so that if you see something, you say something, and you get the right individuals involved. And I certainly want to make certain that you guys understand, My Mother's Keeper is an advocate. We're out here bridging the gap. There are wonderful core service agencies in the city that are helping many, many families of mental health nature. We're just out here trying to bridge the gap because we feel like we have enough doctors. We have quite a bit of many facilities to hold folks. What we don't have is folks out in the community to bridge the gap, to hold the hands, to keep people healthy, so that we don't have to put them in or have them see them go into facilities. So Kimon, I thank you for this extended opportunity to not only shed light on our wonderful event that's coming up on the 25th, but the fact that we're out here and we're going to continue to be out here with God's grace and glory and try to help folks that are mentally challenged, that need help. Reach out. We're here. And I thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Please, community, come out, get around us. We've got the elected officials coming out. I understand that Mayor Bowser's office has just notified us that the head of her crime and engagement department is going to be there. This is a big deal, and it should be. We're doing 8 of these. We're kicking it off in Ward 8 because it needs to happen in Ward 8. We've got to keep the attention going in Ward 8. We need the resources in Ward 8. We love you guys, and we thank you, We Act Radio, for being the voice of the community. And I look forward to our continued efforts, and I cannot wait to come back and celebrate that beautiful library that's going to help our citizens have other choices besides picking up these guns. Thank you, Washington, D.C. Thank you, Ward 8. Love my city.
All right, that would be the Shawnee's Books and Community Bookstore right here at We Act Radio. Go out to the Beauty Expo 2018, beautyexpo2018.com for more information. I'm glad you're doing more events, so we'll see you there when we get back from Africa. Back to Africa with Go-Go, and that is back, y'all, taking us home. Till next time, in between time, make sure you still shine. We Act Radio, do something.
Bye, Facebook. Thanks for all your love and support. Only for you would I put myself through all of this, and for the mental health community. Love you guys. Be seeing you on the other side. Have a great day, guys. Get those tickets. Sign that petition. www.mimotherskeeper.com. Bring somebody else out. Buy a ticket for them. Thanks, God. Love you.